here is the highlight of our conference. Let's not waste any time. Mr. Jefferson, let us begin our debate by having you share your views on the nature of human beings. You once said, "I am among those who fear the people. They, not the rich, are our dependents for continued freedom." What exactly did you mean by that statement?
Well, it means that I'm not afraid of people being able to self-govern themselves and make their own decisions. To continue freedom, we must rely on ourselves and not just the rich to govern us. I believe that the well-informed, everyday man can make good decisions for everyone in this nation.
Mr. Hamilton, do you take exception to anything Mr. Jefferson has said?
Only all of it. My views on human nature were shaped by my war experiences. I have seen fellow comrades put their own interests and personal profit above patriotism, even if it meant abandoning a brother. Most people are selfish now for themselves. For this reason, their system of government gives too much power to the people, and that will lead to error, confusion, and instability.
Thank you. Now that the two of you have exchanged your views on human nature, let's move on to another topic. Mr. Hamilton, in discussing the best economy for the United States, you once said, "The superiority enjoyed by nations that have perfected a branch of industry constitutes a formidable obstacle." Can you tell us what that means in a language we can all understand?
It means that any country that has a strong economy is to be looked up to by other countries. This would put us in a stronger position with other countries, as well as being a trading partner and having the proper defenses.
Okay. Mr. Jefferson, I saw you shaking your head in disagreement while Mr. Hamilton was speaking. What bothers you about what he is saying?
Well, I completely disagree. I don't think that the rich are best fit to run this country. Having only them run the country would result in a government with too much power, which would act like a monarchy or dictatorship, whereas a small national government would give the people more freedom and a better economy.
Thank you. Well, it seems the two of you have vastly different ideas on that topic. How about the Constitution? Mr. Jefferson, you once said, "I consider it the foundation of the Constitution is laid on this ground, that all powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states or to the people." What exactly did you mean?
It basically means that we do not want to give the national government too much power. Any laws not agreed to by the Constitution, states, or the people should not be approved because it is dangerous and unconstitutional.
Thank you. Mr. Hamilton, you seem troubled by what Mr. Jefferson is saying. Do you disagree with him on this issue as well?
Of course. Throughout history, successful countries have had an intelligent government. We will not be of a monarchy like the British. But during the war, I saw who I thought were strong men leave fellow brothers to die for their own well-being. We, the wise and the wealthy, are above that savage behavior. We will still be a government of the people, but the better off will know what is best.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to another topic, foreign affairs. Mr. Hamilton, you once said the following while commenting on the French Revolution. "I dread the vehement character of the French, whom I fear may find it more easy to bring on than to keep within the proper bounds after you put them into motion." Why are you afraid of what is happening in France?
I fear the fierce behavior of the French because I feel as if they find it easier to rebel and chop off 20,000 heads of the rich than to rebel and form an effective form of government and actually run it.
Mr. Jefferson, I understand you don't approve of all the bloodshed that is occurring in France. However, do you view what is happening there differently from Mr. Hamilton?
The bloodshed going on in France is a bit outrageous, but a few noble heads is the price to pay for freedom. Also, the French were our allies during the war, and going against them now would be ridiculous. And also, they're fighting for a good cause.
Thank you. Mr. Jefferson, you seem to disagree with Mr. Hamilton on every topic we've discussed. You once said Hamilton's ideas flow from principles adverse to liberty and are calculated to undermine and demolish the republic. What did you mean by that statement?
I mean that Hamilton is basically going against the Constitution to attempt to destroy the republic. Hamilton's ideas are more focused on bringing down our party than promoting his.
Mr. Hamilton, you seem outraged by Jefferson's remarks. What upset you about what he has said?
Well, that was an interesting comment from somebody who doesn't know what he just said. You're totally a hypocrite. I do recall you having slaves on your plantation in Virginia. Do you go by the words of the Declaration?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I do recall there being a section in the Declaration saying all men are created equal and have the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Having a slave would just double cross those words.
It's just making work go faster.
Okay. Mr. Hamilton, you once said, "Mr. Jefferson is at the head of a faction decidedly hostile to me, dangerous to the union, peace, and the happiness of the country." Those are strong words. What caused you to make such a strong statement?
Jefferson is at a head shack some unfortunate people may even start to believe him.
Mr. Jefferson, you've heard Mr. Hamilton's statement. What do you have to say about it?
I'm not trying to destroy this country. I'm just trying to keep the country how it was built and not change it or the Constitution too much, but to keep it the same and built around what we already have.
Thank you. Thank you very much, both Mr. Hamilton and Mr. Jefferson. It looks like our time is running short. I would now like each of you to make a brief concluding statement why a candidate from your party should be elected president in 1800. Alexander Hamilton, we are going to have you go first, please.
As I said earlier, the wise and experienced should lead this nation. We would make decisions for the general good and not for ourselves. With any strong government, a country needs a strong economy to achieve greatness. We need to lessen the agriculture and greaten the manufacturing, trading, and business. What my candidate stands for is not only to strengthen the government and economy, but for peace, happiness, and prosperity. Thank you.
Mr. Jefferson.
A Republican candidate should be elected president in the year of 1800 for many reasons. First, Republicans represent every single person in this nation, not just a very small, wealthy class like the Federalists. Another reason would be that it is unsafe to give the national government too much power because it can lead to a dictatorship, where our hope is to give more power to the states to create laws and leave the people to themselves for self-government. Also, the Federalists would like to side with Great Britain in the French Revolution, who is our rival, when we should really be siding with our ally during our revolution, who is France. France is also fighting for a good cause, which is the same cause that brought our country to independence. One of the biggest problems with the Federalist Party is their plan to try and change/morph the Constitution. We, as the Republicans, would like to keep the Constitution the same, and instead of change that, we have but to build around what we already have and what has worked. That is why you should vote Republican in the upcoming year 1800 presidential election.
Thank you. All right. Thanks again.